So I did gun control measures, which is when there's a restriction based on the safety for others, and this came into play in the 1700s because of the Revolutionary War, where citizens in America needed as much as arms as possible, and this has been a very important topic these days because people are like, with these shootings that have been happening, we should put more control on the guns. But many people are denying this, saying that they can use as many arms as they can and use however they want because it's their right, and they're doing it for their safety, which has come into talk about the Second Amendment, which states how anyone can have as many as arms as they can, and especially militia, for their safety and for the others. And as I stated before, this has come into play in the 21st century because there has been more use of handguns, and that has resulted in many shootings. But people say that their rights are getting violated because it's our part of our constitution. But and this has been going on for a long time. Like I said, in the 21st century, the case of District of Columbia versus Heller, which reenacted any individual can use their arms as much as they want, as long as it's for their safety and militia. And in another case that has sparked the Second Amendment and has sparked other people's mind of their right of the Second Amendment is the case of McDonald versus City of Chicago, which allowed any person to have arms, especially the state and federal local governments, which for people would seem like a good thing, and it is for their safety, but people have been misusing so much these days. And state governments are not allowed to make any gun laws that can affect the state laws, which can cause many problems because what if there's a huge shooting and you can't do anything to stop it, which can cause, but if there's a whole group of people, which can cause a lot of trouble. But the state and federal courts are allowed to restrain if these restrictions are in the Constitution, like mental health, criminal background, age, and more things like that. But referring back to the state governments thing, it's not safe for citizens especially, but if it's one person, then they can just put them to jail. But if it's really affecting people, then state governments can it's not safe for that state, for the people who live in that state, which can cause many trouble for everyone. And this makes me talk about gun violence, which has increased so much. The murders have increased by 43%, and there have been 55% of increase in suicides. So even having guns for safety in your house, make sure to keep it safely, because you don't know how a person is feeling, and they just want to be gone and stuff. And be sure to have it in a safe spot, because it's not safe for people. And 75% of gun deaths have happened over the decade, which is a lot, which is over 50%, and 126 mass shootings have happened over the 15 years. That is really dangerous. And it's these mass shootings have happened in schools, churches, so many other places, not even just in the US, around the world. And 75% of these gun deaths are very dangerous. Even if it was 40%, it will still be dangerous. And one of the places that one of the most recent shootings that have happened is the Brooklyn subway, where like 33 people got shot and 10 passed away, while the other 23 are like injured. And which makes me talk about how this gun control should happen, because there's been so much gun violence, and like these graphs show too, 54% have been gun use of 54% have been used by suicide, has been used by the use of suicide, and 43% of has been used with the purpose of murder. And look at that, it's like 60%, and that has been going up and down, but ever since 2020 it has been increased again. And for people who are for gun control, like who support gun control, in 2018, like after the high school shooting that happened, 66% voted stricter gun laws, because that was like a huge shooting that happened. And Biden is for this, as he's planning to slowly reduce the use of firearms by like checking who's giving them illegally, and not giving the person, like they're not checking the information, they're just giving the person the gun without checking their age, their mental health, criminal background, etc. And his plan is to give more firearms to militia for like protection, and investigate violent behaviors who have been in the past has shown like violent crime, like violent things, like maybe like attacking a person or something, and like helping people more mentally, like having more programs for teenagers, and like giving more employment to people so they're not depressed, and and like that wouldn't affect them to do anything harsh. And one of the many organizations who are for gun control are the National Center to Control Handguns, which is a combination of many organizations who are for gun control, like Everytown for Gun Safety, Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, Sandy Hook Promise, Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, Violence Policy Center, and American Responsible Solutions. And ever since 2020, because of Black Lives Matter, and there were so much violence of gun use. Many people died because of this, and that's why since 2020, especially in 2020, there were many shootings, which has caused a lot of people heartbroken, obviously, which made them join these organizations. And who are against gun control are the National Rifle Association, which are the oldest association who are known for promoting guns, and they were created to help soldiers for the Civil War, to help like their shooting so they could win and stuff. And ever since then, after like the war and everything, over the years, they had their up and downs, this association. And in 2020, because of everything that happened with the gun violence, a lawsuit was filed against the CEO about how he was misusing his money. And but later on, the court case, they gave the money back NRA, and like he's still the CEO after that. And then in 2021, they got bankrupt. They filed for bankruptcy, but the court denied that. Also in 2021, NRA also got filed for another lawsuit, which was also like misuse of money, but it wasn't directly towards the CEO. Like that was the first lawsuit in 2020, but the lawsuit did not get denied, which is good, because that means there can be more use of gun control, but their bankruptcy was denied by the court, which is, But These are my references.